Well, we all think of beach resorts as a little slice of paradise, way to get away, turn our minds off and all of our worries. But first of all, that ocean can kill you dead. And on top of that, paradise comes with a cost. It's not always great for the local economies or the beaches themselves. Sarah Stododla wrote a book about it. It's called The Last Resort, a chronicle of paradise, profit, and peril at the beach. And Sarah joins us this morning. Sarah, thanks for being with us.
Hi.
Thank you for having me. Hi.
So people are saying, "Oh boy, now I have to be worried about going on vacation too."
Well, I don't think that we need to think about never going on a beach vacation again. But I do think that there are some ways that we can start to do it smarter. One thing to keep in mind always is that the travel to get to a beach vacation on average is kind of 3/4 of the total carbon footprint of a beach vacation. So that can be something that we really start to think about in trying to do this more sustainably.
And another issue is beach erosion.
Yes, for sure. As these, sea level is rising and then we're having a lot more intense storms, keeping the beach in place is becoming a lot more of a challenge than it used to be. I think we can look to a place like Miami Beach that's actually been dealing with all of these challenges for a really long time now. And they are doing a lot of great things. They have a lot of political will, a lot of resources. And so they've kind of become this living laboratory. And I think a lot of the world is looking to a place like Miami Beach to see if we can find some real solutions there.
Tell us about these overwater bungalows that are so enticing.
Well, those actually kind of emerged in the 60s and 70s as a last-ditch effort by certain localities to entice travelers to places that actually didn't have a beach or didn't have a beautiful beachfront. So that was kind of how they were making use of a shoreline that didn't have those traditional elements. And it obviously proved an overwhelming success.
And so there are pros and cons, as you say, and the hotel industry has provided a great opportunity and changed cultures and helped people get better education, so forth and so on. So how do we balance that out and weigh that out?
Yeah, I think, there's this kind of cycle of tourism development that happens, and it starts on a very small, manageable scale where the locals are very involved in the industry itself. And as it grows, and development continues, there comes a point where a lot of outside companies start to come in. And if there's not regulation already in place, that's when overdevelopment starts to happen. And there comes to be a tipping point after which the cons kind of start to outweigh the pros. And so I think the goal for localities ought to be to find that tipping point and to get development under control before they hit that.
What was the first big beach resort? Was it Monte Carlo, or does it date back before that?
Well, the first seaside resorts emerged in England, but they were not kind of the same environment that we imagine today. It was almost a 17th century wellness craze. Doctors were starting to tout the health benefits of seawater, sea air. They were even prescribing to, drink seawater for breakfast for your health and that kind of thing. So it really was, yes, Monte Carlo that brought in the idea of a seaside resort that is for fun and decadence first and for health improvement second.
Yeah, and people used to be afraid of the ocean prior to that. What were they afraid of?
Well, before, it was a huge unknown before, especially before the European explorers started going out, into the great unknown and coming back to tell the tale. It was a huge just unknown. And people didn't really understand how to tame the ocean or how to work with the ocean. And so they were really terrified of it up until about, throughout the 1700s, that attitude started to change.
Well, Sarah, we appreciate you joining us. The book is called The Last Resort, a chronicle of paradise, profit, and peril at the beach. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.